What's up, guys? Justin Morgan here, Carved Up Vegan Muscle, and this is the Wednesday Q&A, which I am trying to make a regular thing now. I can at least do videos on Wednesdays for the time being. And I wanted today, for this video, for the first one, I'll probably cut this one into 2 or 3 parts, and I wanted to revisit a question that I got last week, and it was in regards to Jason Blaha. Somebody asked, do you follow him? What do you think of his information? And I made a video last week just talking about how I shared many opinions with Jason. I was really kind of endorsing some of the things that he had to say in his videos. But today, just today, Wednesday, this first Wednesday in December 2014, he made a video talking about how Alan Aragon had made some points about how great whey protein is. So Jason decided not to be a vegan anymore. He started consuming whey protein, and Mark Lobliner, who has a supplement company, had sent Jason some whey protein samples or big cartons of protein, and Jason is now consuming those in videos saying how awesome they are. Whereas before, what we had seen from Jason was that he said that these supplements were unnecessary, they're expensive, and they just really don't offer any benefit. These are all in past videos that he's made that you can find at his channel, Juggernaut Fitness TV, and he had said that a lot of these things had added anabolic steroids in them. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what he said. And I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know that he really cares about that, because he actually just uses anabolic testosterone. He injects testosterone, so he seems really supportive of it. So I don't know if that he really is against that, but he was saying for guys that are drug free, that are natural, that was something that you should probably be aware of. And he's directly had kind of some disputes with Mark Lobliner, and where they had verbal confrontations. I think Mark Lobliner at one point accused him of being anti-Semitic, and Jason had got a lot of flack and hate over that. And so now he's making a video endorsing products that Mark Lobliner sells, and I can't help but wonder if it's directly because Jason himself has an online store now, and he's planning on selling some of these products at his store. So I guess, if that happens, if he actually starts putting those products up on his store, then I'm going to say it's fairly safe to say that he just was bought out, or his opinions and his, ethics in that case were bought out. If he doesn't, then maybe he really does just believe that, and that's his thing. But he said he had tried some vegan proteins, and they gave him diarrhea. They were really bad tasting. They weren't any good. And I don't personally use protein powders. I don't take them. But this past year, when I was competing in strongman, I wanted to get a great shirt to wear that kind of spoke for what I believed in, and what I stood for, and some of my ethics while I was competing in strongman. So I bought this shirt, the Plant Built tank top shirt. Probably won't wear this for strongman a ton, because it makes it difficult in some of the implements to sit on your back wearing a tank top, so you really want more of like a t-shirt. But I didn't know that at the time. I hadn't really done a lot in strongman, so but for the most part I would probably prefer to wear a t-shirt rather than a tank top. But I'll probably get something similar to this if they don't have t-shirts or whatever for the next times I compete. But when I did, they sent me some packets of Vega protein powder, and they were so good that I actually went and looked at how much it cost to get a carton of Vega protein powder. I thought it was incredible. It was excellent. After going and looking at the prices on protein powders, particularly in this case Vega protein powders, but I think they're all relatively similar. In fact, I would say that the Vega protein powder is probably not any more expensive than the whey crap that Jason's endorsing. But it was incredible. It didn't taste bad. It didn't give me diarrhea. And I think it was a mixture of like hemp and rice and pea protein powder, and it tasted amazing. I chose not to get that or to use that because it's just too expensive, and I don't have lots of money to be spending on stuff that is just unnecessary for me to continue to get stronger and make progress as a competitive powerlifter and strongman. But nevertheless, I'm going to have to disagree with him that some of these vegan protein powders are just not that good, which is what he said in the video. You know, because that has an incredible amino acid profile. And the last thing I will mention in this is that I left a comment on his video about this, and I said, hey, why are you using whey protein? You know, if you were really just going to go use an animal source of protein, you could go and ethically get eggs from a local farmer that has you know, chickens as pets. Now there's, you know, what you see in the store is free range eggs. That may not be that ethical. Those birds, those, you know, chickens may not be any more well kept than the factory farmed things that we associate as being horrible. But when I lived in Kentucky, or I grew up in Kentucky, and we had a chicken coop and we had chickens that roamed around our yard. Lots of our neighbors had that exact same scenario, and they're, I mean, you could say they're still caged up in a way because our yard was fenced in. But in terms of comparing ethics, you know, this was much more ethical than any other type of scenario with a bird, and it's much more ethical than taking your dollar and contributing it to the dairy industry, even if that doesn't necessarily directly contribute to additional animal suffering, which was Jason's point in the video. I do not agree with that because you're taking your dollar and endorsing that company, endorsing that industry by giving it to them. And then even now, living in Ohio, where I'm in like a really industrialized city area, there's still farms all over my city, or, you know, on the outlying, you know, more rural parts of the city. And I think every city has that. Every city is probably within 30 or 40 minutes of some farm where you can go and buy products at, you know, at wholesale prices, much cheaper. So he could go get, I don't know exactly where he lives in England. I know he lives somewhere in there, but I guarantee there are places nearby he could go that have chickens wandering around their yard just like that. They're well kept, they're well taken care of, and he could ethically get those. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm not endorsing that. I'm not recommending any of you go do that. But my point is that rather than taking that scenario, which those eggs, that is kind of how we gauge what is a complete protein. We use the egg as the gold standard for what proteins are compared to. And I'm not endorsing anyone to go follow a high protein diet or to go seek these things out. But I'm just saying, if that's his point, then he could go do that much more ethically, much more cheaply, and it would, you know, fit the same needs that he's doing. So I'm just not buying that his opinions just changed in that way. So sorry to drag on about that, but those were my points and that one. So the only reason I made this video is because last week somebody had asked it, and I addressed it in another Q&A last week, and so now I feel like I need to go back and backtrack on what I said. But that's it. I'll make another video. Look for part 2 to come out just within the next few minutes right after this video. So you guys take it easy, and I'll talk to you in part 2.